In this upcoming episode of The Young and the Restless, the focus turns toward Cain Ashby's relentless ambition, Jill Abbott's grounding wisdom, and Billy Abbott's ongoing struggle to stabilize his own life after yet another series of mistakes. What unfolds is an intricate web of family, legacy, and redemption that reaches deep into Genoa City's history while setting up new conflicts that will ripple through its future. Cain Ashby, now portrayed by Billy Flynn, is portrayed as a man standing at a crossroads between his past and the empire he hopes to build. His transformation into Aristotle Dumas, a name born from the ashes of his father Colin's schemes, has given him both wealth and opportunity, but at the cost of moral clarity. Cain's goal to take over major Genoa City institutions, particularly Chancellor Industries and Newman Enterprises, has begun to blur into something darker than ambition. It's no longer just about proving himself capable. It's about proving he can control everything that once excluded him. In his mind, reclaiming dominance is his path to vindication after years of feeling like an outsider. The man who was once falsely believed to be Jill Abbott's son and who has spent much of his adult life trying to belong in a family that both accepted and rejected him in equal measure. But as Cain's plans grow more aggressive, the return of Jill Abbott, Jess Walton, threatens to shake his foundation in an unexpected way. Jill has always been more than just a businesswoman. She's the matriarch who can see through ambition to the insecurity underneath. Her arrival is driven by a sense of duty and worry. Her two sons, one by blood and one by choice, are both teetering on dangerous edges. Billy Abbott has lost his grip on both personal and professional stability, and Cain, despite his newfound power and European polish, is once again wandering into moral quicksand. Jill senses that both men are in need of the same thing: grounding, accountability, and a reminder of what truly matters. The episode delves deep into Jill's complex history with Cain. Years ago, she believed him to be her biological son, only to later discover that he had deceived her, assuming an identity that wasn't his. Despite the deception, Jill never completely turned her back on Cain. Over the years, their relationship evolved into something akin to mother and son, bound not by blood but by mutual understanding and affection. That connection makes her uniquely positioned to reach Cain in a way that few others can. Jill's conversations with him during this visit are likely to remind him of who he used to be, a man who sought love and belonging rather than dominance and revenge. At the same time, Jill faces another challenge in Billy. Billy's reckless decisions have once again cost him dearly, most notably his leadership failure at Chancellor Industries, which forced Jill into the difficult position of selling the company to Victor Newman. It's an act that has wounded both Billy's pride and Jill's trust. For Billy, this failure is another painful chapter in his lifelong battle with self-sabotage. Jill's goal now is to guide him toward accepting responsibility rather than deflecting blame. She knows that Billy's impulsive nature and emotional volatility can either destroy him or drive him toward greatness, depending on how he channels them. The parallel between Cain and Billy becomes one of the most striking aspects of this storyline. Both men, in their own ways, are haunted by their father's legacies. Cain by Colin's scheming and moral ambiguity, Billy by John Abbott's shadow and Victor Newman's constant rivalry. Both are also struggling to define themselves independently of Jill's powerful presence. But Jill sees what they can't, that neither of them can succeed if they continue letting pride dictate their choices. Cain's alter ego, Aristotle Dumas, is the clearest symbol of his internal conflict. Conceived from Colin's last great plan before his death, it represents both inheritance and temptation. Colin's final words to his son, about redemption, purpose, and legacy, are now being interpreted by Cain as a mission to reshape Genoa City's business world in his father's image. Yet what Cain fails to see is that Colin's path was one of manipulation and greed, not integrity. Jill, who knew Colin's brilliance and his flaws intimately, understands that Cain's path will end in ruin if he continues to believe his father's manipulations were noble visions. Her advice to Cain, firm but compassionate, will urge him to drop the facade of Aristotle Dumas, to step away from the ruthless path, and to rebuild his name honestly. Her dual role, guiding Billy toward stability and urging Cain toward redemption, places Jill at the emotional center of this arc. She embodies the voice of wisdom that connects past and present, family and morality. Through her, the audience sees how both men are more alike than they realize: ambitious, emotional, and desperate to prove themselves in a world that constantly tests them. By the end of this chapter, Cain's willingness to compromise may emerge as the crucial turning point. Whether he listens to Jill and reconsiders his methods remains uncertain, but her influence begins to plant seeds of doubt in his otherwise confident plans. Cain may begin to wonder whether his father's vision truly aligns with his own values, or whether he's simply repeating the sins of the past under a new name. Meanwhile, Billy, humbled and introspective after Jill's intervention, starts to recognize that his failures at Chancellor were not just bad luck.